Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hobbs Loves Comics. My name is Hobbs, and today we are going to be talking about something I don't think gets talked about enough, and that is Batman White Knight. Now, Batman White Knight is a comic book written and drawn by Sean Murphy that was released in 2017, and Batman White Knight is an Elseworld story, which basically introduces this very, you know, intriguing premise of what happens if the Joker becomes sane. And that's basically what happens. After Batman absolutely tears up the town searching for Joker and then beats Joker's brakes off when it finds him and pours mysterious pills down his throat, Joker is mysteriously sane and turns into Jack Napier. And Jack Napier is Gotham City's still really corrupt. It's just that ever since Batman showed up, the root of the corruption has somewhat changed. So Jack Napier's whole goal is to save the city and protect the parts of the town that are less, fortunate, like the poor side of town called Backport. And I'm not going to give a whole premise of the book because it's like 8 whole issues, and if I talked about every single thing that happens in this book, we'd be here forever. Not to mention, I also want to cover its sequel, Batman Curse of the White Knight, in this video. So, long story short, there was actually 2 Harley Quinns. The original Harley Quinn bailed when she saw what Joker was doing to Jason Todd, which was torture and stuff like that. So she's like, I'm out of here. And then Joker meets this new blonde girl who kind of looks like Harley while he's robbing a bank and just assumes that she's Harley Quinn because Joker really doesn't care about Harley at all. But the old Harley, of course, the original Harleen Quinzel, loves Jack Napier because she wanted the Joker to be sane. She loved Joker for the sane man. And the second Harley, I'm just going to call her Harley 2 in this video because I honestly can't remember her name, loves the Joker. And she spends the whole book trying to get the Joker to show back up because it's like a dual identity thing. Right? Jack Napier's Jekyll and Joker's Mr. Hyde. So long story short, Batman teams up with the GCPD GTO unit, which Jack Napier established, and it's basically it's like a joint unit between the vigilantes, so Batgirl and Nightwing, and the most important members of the GCPD. So you have Duke Thomas and Harvey Bullock and Renee Montoya and of course Commissioner Gordon himself. And they all show up in a bunch of different Batmobiles from all across Batman's history and go to take down and take out Harley 2. So by the end of the book, Jack Napier devolves back into being the Joker, and Batman tells Commissioner Gordon that he's done hiding and behind the mask and that he's planning on telling everybody in Gotham that he is Bruce Wayne. And that's how the book ends. I think this book handles so many great ideas from Batman really well. The first idea I think it handles really well is a more violent Batman. This is an idea that gets brought up all the time. Yeah, you have idiots out here oh, well, if Batman really wanted to save Gotham, he just kill the Joker and all the other big criminals because they really don't understand Batman's character and how he literally will not kill. And if somehow he accidentally killed somebody, it would send him into a mental breakdown because that's his thing. He does not kill. Right? And so this version of Batman isn't killing, but what he is doing is, being more violent and beating the absolute brakes off of, people like the Joker. He's causing lots of property damage and he's absolutely messing up these super criminals because he's angry. And really the root of his anger stems from what Joker did to Jason, because in this universe it's not as clean cut as the mainline universe. Because in this universe, Jason Todd is actually the first Robin, which is a pretty interesting concept if you ask me. But Jason is the first Robin, and in this universe, Bruce never finds a body. He has no idea what Joker could have done to Jason, right? And he was about to kill Joker until Harley Quinn saved or stopped him. And so, Bruce is really thankful to Harley because of this. So he's so angry, and it causes tension between him and Dick Grayson, because after Bruce adopts Dick, he never really lets Dick be as, he never really is as open to Dick as he was with Jason, because, he's kind of cold, and he's, worried that what happened to Jason might happen to Dick. So there's kind of this, tension between the two of them that constantly boils over, right? And then you have Barbara, who's just, kind of in the middle. She knows what Bruce is doing is wrong, but she kind of wants the three of them to be like a family. So she doesn't want, Dick and Bruce to fight all the time. She wants them to stay on the same side. And, right, it's really interesting. And the concept of a violent Batman you see all the time. The most notorious example and one of the worst is in BVS, when, Ben Affleck's Batman is just straight up killing people, but then conveniently he doesn't kill the Joker and Harley who were responsible for the death of Robin, which is what makes him start killing people. I don't think you really thought that through very well, Zach. But this book is yeah, Batman's not straight up killing people, but he's much more violent. He's much less, Batman, right? He's very violent, and he just, isn't, I don't even know what I'm saying. But, that concept is handled very well, because by the end, Jack Napier, Bruce's biggest enemy, shows him, yeah, shows him that there is a way to clean up the streets without being a violent vigilante. And I think a lot of the concepts in this book are really well handled. I really love the way Harley Quinn is handled, because I don't like Harley Quinn, what they've been doing with her recently at all. I think the idea of Harley without a Joker is kind of stupid. I don't think Harley should be this big, important pillar of DC. She's she was created to be a Joker sidekick. The only reason she had a lot of personality is because Paul Dini based her off of her voice actress. So I really hate the idea of Harley being DC's Deadpool, right? I think it's stupid. And the way this book makes Harley kind of the mastermind behind, she created the pills because of her background, right? And she manipulated not only Batman, and not only did she make sure the pills were there for Batman to cram down Joker's throat and make him turn sane, but she also was there to record it so that Jack Napier kind of had a defense to take out the cities. She's kind of the master planner behind everything, because she wanted to spend time with Jack. I think it's really interesting, and is a really great use of Harley's character, right? I also love her dynamic with Batman here, especially in the first book. It kind of takes an odd turn in the second book, but her dynamic with Batman, where she's kind of Batman's friend almost, right? They're friends pretty much, and it's a really nice spin on her, right? Not to mention the concept of there being two Harley Quinns also makes a lot of sense, because I never really saw how Harley could stay with Joker after what he did to Jason, right? Which canonically, in a lot of times, is when she actually leaves to join the Suicide Squad to go off with Harley, right? But you understand what I mean. So having two Harleys, that each love a different side of Jack Napier / the Joker, is really interesting. Plus, you can always tell Sean Murphy loves the character of Batman, right? The way he writes Batman and Robin and Batgirl, or not Robin, Nightwing, the way that there's characters from ripped straight from BTAS here, right? The way he takes, all these Batmobiles from across different fiction, makes them important and unique and things that Batman has in in canon. And I really love this first White Knight book. I thought it was kind of insane that more people don't talk about it because I really hadn't heard much about it pre reading it. And so I was like really shocked because it was a really good book. I highly recommend it. I read the compact comic version, which was only $10. So if like you're on a budget, like buy that. Like yeah, it's kind of harder to read because the words are smaller and Sean Murphy's wonderful art isn't as good, but you know what I mean. Now I want to talk about the second book, Curse of the White Knight, which is about it dives more into concepts they introduced in the first book of the Wayne family. And can I say I do think the like having an original Joker is a little odd, but it's Elseworlds, right? It's not this isn't the mainline continuity. Like I would absolutely hate if the ideas, specifically in Curse of the White Knight, happened in mainline continuity, but like this is, this is an Elseworld story. And so it's such a different, unique take. I think it's really cool. But um Curse of the White Knight has the main villain of Azrael, which is so dope because aside from Nightfall, which Azrael is like the main villain of that book, it's not Bane, it's Azrael. Um, but aside from Nightfall, I don't think Azrael gets enough like recognition. And I think he's not only a really dope hero when he's an ally to the Bat family in Batman, but I think he's really dope as a villain too. And this version of Azrael is sick, right? Like he's an old man that's dying, and basically the Order of Saint Dumas is like feuded by this. So basically, let me just break it down for you. Back in the very founding days of Gotham, there was this guy named Laffy Arkham, who everybody called a vampire because he was like I think he might have actually been a vampire. It's kind of unclear the book. Sean Murphy definitely draws him to look very much like a vampire, but it's kind of unclear in the book whether he actually was or whether it's just because he looked weird. But basically, Laffy Arkham has taken over um, the Gotham area in the New World. And um, I think it's not Thomas Wayne. And anyway, the Wayne from back then, which I can't remember his name despite reading this book like a few days ago, uh, is approached by this guy named Bakar. At least I think that's his name. I'm pretty sure it's Bakar. And Bakar is a member of the Order of Saint Dumas, and he teaches, I'm just going to call him Ancestor Wayne because I can't remember his name. Teaches Ancestor Wayne the ways of combat and how to fight, and be like he was a member of the Order. And the two of them, it's Edmund Wayne. Edmund Wayne. I remembered his name, Edmund Wayne. So then the two of them confront Laffy, and the legend goes that Edmund kind of like, after killing Laffy, shoved Bakar down the pit, and Bakar's dead. Which Bruce is like, listen, I know my family hasn't done like the best stuff, but like my parents were still great people. And anyway, but Joker knows the secret. And spoilers for the book, I've already kind of spoiled the first book. I forgot to say spoilers for these books, but spoiler for Curse of the White Knight. Turns out Edmund Wayne wasn't the one who survived. Bakar was. Bakar killed Edmund Wayne and then took up the Wayne name, meaning that Bruce Wayne isn't actually a Wayne, and that John Paul Valley, who is actually the last living descendant of Edmund Wayne, is a Wayne. And Bruce is like, holy crap, my family, my parents, the people who I became the Batman to avenge, the Wayne family that I've used all this money and resources to save, I'm not even a Wayne. But anyway, after a lot of fighting with Azrael, Jim dies to Azrael, which causes a lot of tension between Bruce and Barbara, right? Eventually, Bruce defeats Azrael. I think he kills him. I'm pretty sure Bruce, or maybe not. But Bruce defeats Azrael and turns himself into the police and the new commissioner, Renee Montoya, for all the crimes like property damage and vigilantism and all the stuff he did as Batman. He's willing to take justice for his crimes as Batman, right? And so after everything, a lot of people die in this book. Jim Gordon dies. Joker actually dies, which is kind of insane, but he dies. And then Harley has Jack Napier's twins. So, like, there's always potential. Because I actually have not read Beyond the White Knight or the Red Hood White Knight book. I've only read the first two. I'll definitely read them. And the fourth White Knight book when Sean Murphy's done writing it. But anyway, I think these books are great. I really love the concepts they introduce. I love these versions of the characters. I think the art is really incredible. The kind of darker themes that these books kind of present. I mean, I think it's kind of a crime we haven't gotten a movie or a TV show of White Knight yet. That would be dope. But then again, you know, they're already doing so much for Batman. I think we kind of table it so it doesn't, so that we don't have literally like 10 projects for Batman and this announced for like around this time. So maybe cool your jets, but eventually one day I'd love to see a White Knight movie or some type of like TV show. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely read the third and fourth installments. But I really love these books. I think the concepts they introduce are great. I can't wait to see how they handle Jason Todd because he shows up at the very last page of Curse of the White Knight. And if you have not read Batman White Knight and Curse of the White Knight, go read them. They're really great books. I feel like most Batman fans will really love them. I mean, you might not, but at least in my opinion, and of course I'm always right, you're always wrong, I love them. So, like, obviously everybody else will too, because, like, my opinion is the law. So that's all I have to talk about today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to the channel. I do daily uploads, at least for the first like week until I get tired of doing daily uploads. But that's all I've got for you. Goodbye.